Ladies and gentlemen, family and friends, I stand before you today not to sugarcoat life, but to tell you the truth. Trials are part of the journey. They don't ask for permission. They come like an uninvited guest, disrupting your peace, shaking your foundation, and testing everything you thought you knew. But hear me clearly, trials will not break you, they will build you. Trials will not defeat you, they will define you. Pain is something we often try to avoid at all costs. It's uncomfortable, unsettling, and can seem unbearable at times. Yet the truth is, pain is not always the enemy we perceive it to be. In fact, pain often has a purpose far greater than what we can see in the moment. It is a teacher, a guide, and sometimes a stepping stone to growth that we can't fully appreciate until we look back. When you experience pain, whether it's the loss of a loved one, a personal failure, a broken relationship, or a physical struggle, it can feel like the end of the world. It shakes your foundation, rattles your confidence, and leaves you questioning everything. But pain is not there to punish you. It's there to prepare you. It's a tool for transformation. Without pain, there would be no progress. Without struggle, there would be no strength. Pain can open doors that comfort never could. It forces you to look deeper into yourself, to confront your weaknesses and flaws, and to push beyond your limits. The discomfort you feel is often a signal that you're growing. You are expanding, evolving, becoming more than you were before. Pain takes you out of your comfort zone, which is exactly where growth happens. In the place of discomfort, you find your real potential. In the midst of pain, you may find your true strength. It is in the struggle that you discover your resilience, your ability to persevere when everything around you tells you to give up. Think about any athlete who pushes themselves past their limits. They don't get stronger without the pain of training, without the discipline to push through when they feel like they can't go any further. It's the same with life. Pain teaches you endurance, the ability to withstand the storms, to keep going even when you feel like you're breaking. Pain also has a way of stripping away the superficial layers of our lives. It removes the distractions and forces us to focus on what truly matters. It brings clarity in the midst of confusion. Sometimes we get so caught up in our routines and material pursuits that we forget the things that matter most: our relationships, our purpose, our integrity. Pain in its rawness reminds us of what is real and what we should value. Moreover, pain deepens our empathy. It connects us with others in a way that nothing else can. When we experience hardship, we develop an understanding of what others might be going through. It creates a bond, a shared experience that allows us to show compassion and love in ways we may not have otherwise been able to. It opens our hearts to others' suffering and gives us the tools to be there for them, not from a place of judgment, but from a place of knowing. Pain forces us to reevaluate our priorities, to search for meaning and purpose, and to realign ourselves with what is truly important. It is in the crucible of pain that we are refined, that our character is shaped and our hearts made stronger. It's hard to see it when you're in the middle of it, but if you allow yourself to move through it rather than around it, you will come out on the other side stronger, wiser, and more equipped for the challenges ahead. When we talk about refining fire, we are often referencing a process that is painful, intense, and seemingly destructive. Yet within the flames lies a deeper purpose. Just like gold is purified through fire, we too are refined through our trials, struggles, and hardships. It's not that fire seeks to destroy us. Instead, it aims to remove the impurities that stand in the way of our true potential. Consider the way metal is refined. Raw gold in its natural form is impure, mixed with other elements and impurities. To transform it into something pure and valuable, it must undergo a refining process. The gold is placed in a furnace where the heat reaches extreme levels. The fire burns away everything that is not gold, leaving behind only the precious metal. This refining process is not gentle, and it is certainly not easy, but it is necessary for the gold to become what it was always meant to be. Similarly, the trials and challenges we face in life serve as a refining fire for our hearts, minds, and spirits. The heat of adversity brings to the surface our fears, doubts, insecurities, and weaknesses, forcing us to confront them. During times of hardship, it may feel like we are being burned, tested beyond what we can endure. It may seem that everything is being stripped away and that we are being left vulnerable and exposed. But this is where the refining happens. In the heat of the moment, it may feel like there's no way out. But what we fail to see in our discomfort is that the fire is actually doing us a favor. It's burning away what we no longer need: our pride, our stubbornness, our old habits, and preparing us to emerge stronger, purer, and more focused. The refining fire can come in many forms. It might show up as personal loss, unexpected setbacks, or deep emotional pain. It could come in the form of a career struggle, a failed relationship, or a broken dream. But no matter how the fire manifests, it holds the same promised transformation. The purpose of fire is not to destroy, but to refine, to elevate us to a higher state of being. Each challenge we face is a chance to shed the old version of ourselves and become the person we are meant to be. In this process, we must remember that the fire does not last forever. It is a temporary condition, one that eventually gives way to something far more valuable. What we need in the heat of the moment is patience and trust. Trust that the fire is shaping us, molding us, and making us into something greater than we were before. Patience is required because the refining process cannot be rushed. Just as gold needs time to melt and solidify into its purest form, we too need time to be transformed. The result of the refining fire is always worth the struggle. When we come out on the other side, we are not the same. We have been purified, strengthened, and prepared for whatever lies ahead. The fire may have burned us, but it also shaped us into something more valuable than we were before. And just like gold, when we go through the refining process, we are ready to shine. In life, we often see setbacks as signs of defeat, as though they mark the end of the road. We experience failure, disappointment, or rejection. And we can feel the weight of those moments, thinking that all our hard work has been in vain. But what if we shifted our perspective? What if we saw every setback not as a dead end, but as a setup for a greater comeback? Setbacks are not roadblocks, carries with it the seeds of future success. These moments of struggle are often the very catalysts that set us up for breakthroughs. Think about the athletes who fall short of their goals: an injury, a loss in a championship, or a season of underperformance. It may seem like failure in the moment, but the most successful athletes will tell you that those very setbacks often drive them to become better. The pain of a loss, the frustration of an injury, or the lessons learned from failure push them to train harder, work smarter, and stay focused on their vision. A setback forces them to look within and find the strength, resilience, and determination they didn't know they had. It's in those moments of struggle that they realize their true potential. This idea isn't exclusive to athletes. It applies to every aspect of our lives. The business venture that didn't take off, the relationship that ended, the job opportunity that slipped through our fingers. Each of these setbacks, though painful at the time, is a chance to grow. In the aftermath of failure, we learn valuable lessons that we wouldn't have learned otherwise. We discover what went wrong, what we could have done differently, and where we need to improve. Setbacks provide the space for self-reflection, allowing us to recalibrate and adjust our approach. What's more, setbacks often push us to think outside the box and explore new possibilities. When one door closes, we are forced to knock on others. A setback challenges our assumptions, opens our minds to alternative solutions, and makes us realize that success is not a straight line. It's a winding path with unexpected turns and detours along the way. The key is not to stop when things get difficult, but to see these moments as opportunities for redirection, innovation, and growth. The most powerful comebacks are born from the deepest setbacks. Every successful person you admire, whether they're a business leader, a creative genius, or a public figure, has faced significant obstacles along the way. What sets them apart is not that they avoided failure, but that they used their setbacks as fuel for their comebacks. They didn't let their failures define them, they let them refine them. A setback is not a signal to quit, it is a signal that something greater is on the horizon. But you must first get through the storm. A comeback requires perseverance, faith, and resilience. It's about picking yourself up after falling and trying again with more wisdom and understanding. Setbacks force you to dig deeper, find new strategies, and push forward in ways you never thought possible. And when you do come back, you come back stronger, wiser, and better equipped to handle whatever life throws your way. Every setback, no matter how painful, is just a setup for your comeback. And if you keep pressing forward, trusting that your greatest victories lie just beyond the struggle, you will see that your setbacks were not defeats at all, but rather the very thing that set you up for a success you couldn't have imagined before. Vulnerability is often seen as a weakness, something to be hidden or avoided. In a world that values strength, power, and independence, showing vulnerability can feel like exposing our deepest insecurities. We fear judgment, rejection, or the idea that others will perceive us as weak or incapable. Yet there is a profound strength that comes from embracing vulnerability. It is in allowing ourselves to be vulnerable that we discover our true power. To be vulnerable is to acknowledge our humanity. It is to admit that we don't have all the answers, that we are not invincible, and that we too face challenges and struggles. When we open ourselves up to others, we make space for connection, empathy, and understanding. Instead of building walls around our weaknesses, we choose to share them, trusting that by doing so, we will not only heal ourselves, but also inspire others to do the same. Vulnerability is not about strength, and vulnerability also lies in the ability to connect with others on a deeper level. When we allow ourselves to be open and honest about our struggles, we create a space for others to do the same. It is in this shared vulnerability that true relationships are formed. People don't connect with us because we present a perfect version of ourselves. They connect with us because we are real. By showing our vulnerability, we invite others to share their own. And in that exchange, we build a sense of solidarity and support. We realize that we are not alone in our struggles, and that in itself can be a powerful source of strength. Vulnerability also serves as a catalyst for growth. It's easy to stay comfortable, to avoid risk, and to shield ourselves from the possibility of failure or rejection. But growth requires us to step outside of our comfort zones. It demands that we face our fears, confront our limitations, and challenge ourselves to become better. When we embrace vulnerability, we give ourselves permission to fail, to fall, and to try again. It is through our failures that we learn the most about who we are and what we are capable of. By embracing vulnerability, we open ourselves up to new experiences, new opportunities, and new lessons that shape us into stronger individuals. The paradox of vulnerability is that in allowing ourselves to be seen, we actually become more resilient. Vulnerability does not break us, it builds us. It helps us develop emotional resilience, teaching us how to cope with rejection, failure, and loss. It teaches us that we are capable of enduring hardship and that our worth is not defined by our successes or failures, but by our willingness to show up as our true selves. There is immense strength in vulnerability. When we let go of the need for perfection and embrace our flaws, we unlock the power to heal, grow, and connect. By showing up authentically, we not only strengthen ourselves, but also inspire others to do the same. Vulnerability is not a weakness, it is the foundation of courage, growth, and true strength. When we think of storms, we often imagine destruction, how the wind howls, the rain pours down, and the sky turns dark. We associate storms with chaos, turmoil, and things falling apart. But what if, instead of viewing storms as obstacles to endure, we saw them as opportunities to learn and grow? Storms, whether literal or metaphorical, carry with them lessons that can shape us in ways we cannot anticipate. It is in the midst of the storm that we often learn the most profound truths about ourselves and the world around us. In the chaos of a storm, there is clarity. Storms strip away distractions and forces us to focus on what truly matters. In times of peace and stability, it is easy to take things for granted, the people we love, the work we do, the goals we chase. But when the storm comes, it demands our attention. It brings us face to face with the things we might have overlooked. Whether it's a personal crisis, a career setback, or an emotional struggle, a storm forces us to reevaluate our priorities. It makes us stop, reflect, and realign with our true purpose. In the eye of the storm, we find our center. Furthermore, storms teach us resilience. Resilience is not developed in calm waters, but in the turbulence of the storm. When everything is shaken and you feel like you're losing control, it is easy to fall into despair. But a storm has a way of revealing strength you never knew you had. It tests your limits, forces you to adapt, and teaches you how to persevere through adversity. When you come out on the other side of a storm, you do so with a deeper understanding of your own capacity to endure. You may be scarred, but you are stronger. Resilience doesn't mean you don't feel the impact of the storm. It means you learn how to stand tall despite it. In addition to resilience, storms often teach us humility. There's something humbling about being caught in a storm. No matter how much we plan, how much we prepare, or how strong we think we are, storms remind us that we are not in control of everything. Life is unpredictable, and sometimes the most we can do is hold on and trust the process. We are reminded that we are not invincible, that we need others, and that we have limits. This humility, however, opens the door to growth. When we embrace humility, we become more teachable, more open to new ideas, and more willing to listen to the wisdom around us. Storms also reveal the people around us. In times of crisis, we see who stands by us and who walks away. When the storm hits, we discover the depth of our relationships. Sometimes the storm serves as a purification process, showing us who is truly committed to walking with us through the hardships. It also teaches us the value of connection. When we are weathering a storm, we need others to help us through. We need support, understanding, and compassion. Storms remind us of the importance of community, of leaning on others and being a source of strength for those around us. Finally, storms offer a unique perspective on growth. Just as trees bend in the wind, growing stronger and more flexible with each storm, so do we. Storms shape us, but they don't have to break us. They teach us how to bend without breaking, how to adapt, and how to stretch beyond our limits. The challenges we face often push us to discover new strengths and abilities that we never thought possible. After a storm, we are different, but we are more complete versions of ourselves, more capable of navigating the next storm that comes our way. The lessons hidden in the storm are not always easy to find, but they are invaluable. In the midst of our struggles, when it feels like everything is falling apart, we have the chance to learn resilience, humility, connection, and growth. The storm is not just a challenge to overcome, it is a teacher, guiding us to become stronger, wiser, and more prepared for the future. Victory is something that everyone craves, but it often comes with a hidden cost. We see the glory, the celebrations, and the rewards of success, but we don't always recognize the trials, struggles, and setbacks that make victory meaningful. To truly achieve greatness, we must first face a test, one that challenges our character, our endurance, and our belief in ourselves. Victory without a test lacks depth, for it is through the struggle that we earn the right to claim our triumph. Tests are inevitable. They come in various forms, whether it's a personal battle, a professional challenge, or an emotional struggle. No one achieves success without enduring some form of hardship. Life isn't designed to hand us victory on a silver platter. Instead, it requires that we work for it, fight for it, and sometimes even sacrifice for it. The very essence of victory is tied to the tests we face, because it is through these tests that we discover our true strength and potential. Every test presents an opportunity for growth. It's in the moments of difficulty that we are shaped and refined. When everything is going smoothly, it's easy to feel invincible. But it's when we are tested that we are forced to dig deeper, to tap into reserves of strength we didn't know we had. Tests push us beyond our comfort zones, teaching us how to persevere when the odds seem stacked against us. It's easy to quit when faced with a challenge, but those who persist through their tests are the ones who emerge victorious. Each test refines us, strengthens us, and prepares us for the next level of success. The test reveals what we're truly made of. We can talk about our dreams, our goals, and our ambitions, but it's only in the midst of struggle that we see if we have the resolve to pursue them. When faced with obstacles, we are given a choice to fight or to flee. The test forces us to confront our fears, insecurities, and doubts. It reveals whether we have the courage to keep going, even when the road ahead seems uncertain. It is the test that exposes our true commitment to our goals and whether we are willing to endure the sacrifices required to achieve them. Victory requires not just overcoming the test, but embracing it as a necessary part of the process. We must learn to welcome the tests that life sends our way because they are the stepping stones to our success. We must stop viewing tests as punishments and start seeing them as opportunities to grow. Each challenge we face is designed to take us to a higher level, to mold us into the person we need to become to handle the success that's waiting for us. Without the test, there is no triumph. Without the struggle, there is no victory. Moreover, the test teaches us patience. Success doesn't come overnight. It takes time, effort, and resilience. Victory requires a process, sometimes a long one, that tests our endurance. We can't rush through it. We must go through the ups and downs, the trials and tribulations, in order to fully appreciate the sweetness of success when it arrives. In fact, the longer and harder the test, the more rewarding the victory becomes. When we know what it took to get to the top, we don't take the victory for granted. It becomes more than just a moment of achievement. It becomes a testament to our perseverance. The test also helps us to build character. Character is developed through the challenges we face, not through ease and comfort. It's in the fire of adversity that we are forged into the individuals we are meant to be. Every test molds us, shaping our values, our integrity, and our sense of purpose. Without the test, we would not know who we truly are or what we stand for. In the end, victory without a test is hollow. It is the test that gives victory meaning. It's the test that proves we are worthy of the reward. And it is through the test that we learn to appreciate the journey. So the next time you face a challenge, remember that it's not a sign of defeat, but a sign of progress. Every test you face is preparing you for the victory that awaits. And it is in passing those tests that you truly claim your success. In life, challenges are inevitable. And it is through these trials that we truly discover our strength, resilience, and purpose. From the refining fire that shapes us, to the tests that reveal our true character, each obstacle serves a critical role in our growth. While setbacks may seem like defeats, they are merely setups for comebacks, pushing us to evolve and reach new heights. Vulnerability, once seen as weakness, proves to be a source of great power, allowing us to connect with others and embrace our authenticity. Through every storm, we uncover lessons that guide us, reminding us that victory is not just about the destination, but the journey. Every trial, every setback, every moment of pain is a necessary step in preparing us for the success that is yet to come. Embrace these challenges, for they are the very things that mold you into the person capable of achieving the victories you seek.